If you want to sell to wealthy decision makers with cold outreach, I'm going to show you a very simple 3-step method for you to go and follow to start generating leads with these people. It's got nothing to do with sending people guarantees. In fact, in my experience, sending guarantees to rich buyers, they just do not respond well to that. What they do respond well to is opportunities. So what I'm going to do is walk you through how to actually present opportunities to rich buyers so you can start generating more leads with these types of people. So with that being said, let's get into it. So I learned this framework from running cold outreach campaigns targeting some of the largest global multinational organizations in the world, such as clubs in the Premier League, La Liga, NBA, you name it, all of these companies where they're earning over, hundreds of millions of dollars in revenue per year, and targeting the people who are very high up and who are senior within these companies and organizations. So these people need a very different message to if you were to go and target, so a self-employed individual or a company size of say 1 to 10 employees. Now, the good thing is this framework works. So if you're a small or a medium-sized company and you're trying to attract larger clients, this framework works just as well. And I'm not just speaking about targeting those, hundreds of millions of dollars per year organizations. This will work if you're looking to attract bigger clients. So what we want to look at is like why rich people actually buy stuff. And it boils down to these 3 things. So they pay for speed, convenience, and results. And they're willing to pay a premium for it. And that's why, you're watching this video because you want to target those larger organizations and people where they are actually willing to pay a premium for it. So we're going to walk through how to actually go and do that. And the main thing which we're going to speak about is presenting an opportunity gap. So this is how I've figured out, this is just one of the ways that I've figured out how to actually get rich buyers to respond and book in meetings and actually go and generate those leads. So presenting an opportunity rather than saying like, hey, this is what we do, this is like our approach, which they've heard hundreds of thousands of times. If you can present an opportunity and this opportunity will actually help them make money or save them money, and you can explain this in a way that actually gets them curious, that is when you get them to respond. I've booked hundreds of meetings with these larger organizations where we've just used this same method time and time again, where we just present a small opportunity that is actually going to help them make money or save money. That's pretty much what it is. And the 3-step framework that we're going to walk through is step 1 is actually show them an opportunity that they didn't see. So show them something that they should know. And then step 2 is actually just having proof. So add a 1 line of proof. So when we're doing cold outreach, we don't want to explain this to the nth degree. It's like, hey, we've done this before. We can do this for you. And here's the proof. Here's the receipts. And then step 3 is make it easy, because if the next step isn't just logical for them and it's not easy for them to go and do, you've lost them. They're gone. You're going to lose them. So what I did want to explain is like, you do not want to reach out to rich buyers and wealthy clients explaining a guarantee. And if you just think about the psychology of a guarantee, and what I mean by a guarantee is like, hey, we will get you, 20 leads a month or you don't pay. Like a rich buyer will just see that as a red flag. And, you're just completely targeting the wrong fear. Like they obviously fear losing money, but not as much as actually fearing losing their time or reputation. It's the complete wrong incentive. So you're just trying to push that urgency. Whereas rich buyers have a different mentality. They're buying on logic, and they're not easily pressured into things. They're not like a deer in headlights. It's like, oh, that looks great. It's like they're going to look at it and go, that seems a bit off to me. That's probably not logically what you can even do for me anyway. So I'm not going to trust you. And then they're just going to bounce and move on. So it's the complete wrong buyer psychology. Like these guys don't need reassurance. They want certainty that you can actually go and do it. They don't need a safety net. So now that's out of the way, I'll just show you just some examples if we can just think about like how rich buyers actually think. So if you were a personal trainer reaching out to a rich buyer and you said, I will guarantee you get abs in 30 days or you don't pay, versus do you want to lose body fat with this new method? Here's what my last 10 clients achieved. Now, which one are they going to pick? They're obviously going to pick something along the lines of this, because this is just going to scream like, how do you know that you can get me abs in 30 days or you don't pay? Like it just seems off. Like, nothing about me, my lifestyle, like who I am. So like, they're just going to bounce straight off it. And again, sort of in my world, so obviously I run a lead generation business agency, and if I was to basically say, we will guarantee you, or we will generate you 30 leads a month or you don't pay, versus what we actually sort of have the messaging around now is, do you need a business development manager without the $80,000 a year salary? Here's what we delivered for the last 10 companies just like you. there's pure logic there. It's like, okay, well, yeah, I probably need a business development manager. I don't really want to pay this $80,000 a year salary. And okay, well, they're actually backing up what they can, what they're saying that they can do. So the logic brain is like fully turned on there, compared to here, it's just like a complete red flag. It's like, whoa, let's just move away from that one. And then another example, we'll guarantee you double your revenue in 30 days, or we'll refund you. So if you were to go and reach out to someone, so I don't know, for example, like people reach out to me saying like, hey, we can double your revenue in 30 days. Yeah, that sounds great, but it just screams like a red flag to me. Whereas, if someone was to say, look, your competitor has just increased your market share by 12% using this unique mechanism or this approach, do you want me to share where your own missed revenue pockets are? It's just a completely different psychology and mentality. Which one are you going to choose? So I'm going to walk through how to actually present and frame this opportunity. So there's loads of different examples that you can actually go and do to actually go and frame this opportunity. So step one is actually show something that they didn't see. So we want to get into the buyer's mindset, especially if you're doing like cold email, or you're doing, LinkedIn outreach, or if you're reaching out to people on like Instagram, Twitter. It's the same stuff. But if you can present something that they haven't seen yet, then you're going to not only look smart, but you're going to pique their curiosity. So I'm going to walk through these top ones, but we'll go through these. So you could mention, this one works time and time again. If you can mention your competitor is doing X, and that thing that they're doing is good, they're making more money, or here's a missed revenue opportunity, do you want me to show you how you can do it? So that one's a good one. Or you might explain, here's a blind spot that's holding you back, or here's a trend that they haven't acted on. So this could be something around AI, or it could be, whatever it may be related to your business. Or this is a good one as well. So like a small tweak that can actually provide a big win, because these guys are busy. If you can present something small that can help them achieve a big win, then that is going to pique their curiosity. So once we've actually presented that opportunity, all we need to do is prove it. So it's a one line of proof. We don't need to go into too much here. And the reason why we need to do that is because they're paying for the results. The logic brain is like, okay, well, they seem pretty certain about this. I'm actually going to entertain what they've got to say. And then step 3 is just make it very simple and easy. You're not trying to sort of pitch them. You're just trying to pitch the idea, or you're trying to pitch the meeting. So it's a very soft CTA, just so they can very quickly respond and go, logically, yes, if I actually take time out of my day, I'm actually going to potentially either make more money or save money. So we'll go through these top 2 examples. So the first one is a competitor is doing X. You should do the same. This one crushes, right? So we're basically saying, I've just boiled this down into like the most simple form that I can. So this top thing is the opportunity. You can switch these around whichever way you want to do it, but I've just put it in this order. So we noticed that your competitor did something good. And that did something good could be absolutely anything. You just got to think about like who your ideal customer profile is, who are the top dogs within that industry, and what are they doing that you could potentially help people do the same. And then you would basically say something like, we can help you do the same with our method, and we've done this for X, Y, and Z company. So you're explaining the proof. Do you want to have a call to explain exactly how we can help you go and do the same? So I've just written a very basic example. So you would say something like, we found an opportunity that could help company X, so their company, generate more revenue. Very concisely just explain the summary of the opportunity. It doesn't have to be crazy amounts of detail. I'm going to show you sort of a real life example in a sec. We already helped company do this. So this is the proof, that's the opportunity. And then this is a soft CTA. So you could say something like, want us to do the same for you, or I can show you how we could do this with your setup, whatever it may be. So I'm going to show you another example, which is the missed revenue opportunity. So we actually did a campaign for one of our clients targeting some of the organizations and clubs in the Premier League. Again, large organizations, tough to get hold of, senior decision makers, and we booked meetings left, right, and center with these clients. And we targeted, I remember we did one campaign targeting the organizations in La Liga. So it's sort of the Spanish version of the Premier League. Again, multinational global organizations. And we sent one email, which was fairly similar to this, and we booked 4 meetings, and I think they generated 4 clients from just that one email. It was crazy, because all we did was present an opportunity which they probably hadn't heard of, or well, they clearly hadn't heard of it, because they all booked calls and they all became clients. Obviously, after a couple of months, the sales cycle was pretty long for this company. So this is just an example of where we would explain what a missed revenue opportunity is, because So let's just break it down. So we've got this company, small company, targeting these large organizations in the Premier League. So let's say we're targeting Manchester United. What they were selling is basically helping companies like Manchester United get new sponsors. That's how these clubs make money. So we said something along the lines of, so we had the proof here at the top. So we basically said, we're reaching out because X, Y, and Z. We actually help people just like you, and here are your competitors that we're working with: Liverpool, Chelsea, West Ham. By the way, I'm making these up. I've sort of desensitized this. So we're working with your competitors, Chelsea, West Ham, and Liverpool, and then help them with desired outcome. So it's very simple. And then we're saying what the opportunity is. Here are 3 brands that you should be targeting for sponsorship: brand 1, 2, 3. And then we explain concisely like why you should even reach out to them in the first place. And then the call to action was something like, would you like to see a custom report to see what this would look like for company name? And then we had an additional sort of proof here. So we had the testimonial at the bottom. So I know this is like, maybe you're thinking about this and you're thinking, well, my clients aren't Liverpool, Chelsea, West Ham. Doesn't matter. If you're going after larger clients and you have some kind of case studies, then this will work. But you just need to present the opportunity smartly here and show that you've actually done a bit of research. Now, you're probably thinking, did we do this by hand? Like, did we just individually send, like the brands that they should reach out to by hand? We actually didn't. We had an email marketing sequence, and we had all of the clubs in the Premier League, albeit there was only like 20 or maybe it was like 15 companies in there for this sequence. But it doesn't have to be crazy. All you've got to think about is like, what is this opportunity that is going to be relevant for this group of people that I'm targeting? This is if you're doing like mass, quote unquote, mass cold outreach, for example. So you just got to think about how can you group that opportunity that is going to be so highly relevant that it would almost be impossible for them not to say, yes, let's go and discuss this. And then, you just have a very simple soft call to action at the bottom there. So those are just a couple of examples. Now, what we need to do is actually follow up with these rich buyers, because these rich buyers and, people in senior positions, C-suite executives or whatever, or if you're just targeting like owners of large companies where they're just busy, they're doing things, you need to follow up with value and not just sort of pitch them harder. What has actually got really good results is following up with value. So you want to actually remind them, hey, I've actually given you this thing, or I've actually provided you with this opportunity. Like, did you see it, or is it even interesting to you? And then step 2 is actually maybe giving them one more insight, or like explaining a little bit more about this opportunity. It's like, well, hang on, like this is the opportunity that I found. I still think it could be really relevant to you. Am I wrong about this, or something like that? You want to expand on it, give some more insight in terms of why you can either help them make money or save money. And then, reinstate that outcome. It's like, you want to give them pure conviction as to, we've done this for people just like you. And then you just ask a very tiny call to action, logical next step. So how do you actually scale this? So obviously once you've done your follow-ups, to scale this, like I was saying, you just need that group of people. So who is your ideal client? And then what is that opportunity that you can go and reach out to all those groups of people so it's completely relevant? And then you could send them emails, you could send them loons, Instagram outreach, whatever it may be. You can do it customize in sort of scalable outreach, but I'm not talking about the scalable outreach where you just basically, pull someone's employee headcount and say, hey John, notice you've got 23 employees. Like this is what we do, and would love to have a chat. It's like these guys don't respond to messages and positioning and messaging like that. Like you're gonna get ghosted. Believe me, I've done it. I've been there. If you can present an opportunity to actually reach out to these people and say, hey, we can go and make you money, because what these rich buyers want to do is they pay for speed, convenience, and results. And if you can present an opportunity to those people, they will pay a premium for it. Now, if you do want some help with your lead generation, click the link in the description and you will be able to understand how I might be able to help you. I will see you on the next one. Peace.